Hey guys, Barrett here with Spec of Tech. Welcome to the channel. Today we have a very quick and simple video for you guys. I'm going to be talking about how you connect your speaker wire to your speakers. If you clicked on this video, there's a good chance that you're already looking for banana plugs or you've already purchased banana plugs. I'm hoping that you haven't purchased the banana plugs that I'm going to give you a warning about today, and that's the Fospower banana plugs. Coming up in this video, I'm going to explain to you guys why I don't like those banana plugs and why you shouldn't buy them. I'm going to give you an alternative to buy, but of course you don't have to buy those. You can choose any banana plug that you want, but I did want to give this warning about Fospower banana plugs because I have had a lot of issues with those banana plugs. Before we get into that though, I want you guys to ask yourselves a question. Do you really need banana plugs? The reason I say that is because the best connection that you're probably going to be able to achieve is if you put the bare wire of your speaker wire into the terminal of your speaker. Now, of course, every speaker is going to be a little bit different on how you accomplish this, but for the most part, all speaker terminals are going to have some sort of a nut that you can unscrew by hand, and then there's going to be a hole behind that nut or through that nut that you can shove your bare speaker wire into, and then you just tighten up the nut, which will clamp down on that speaker wire or the bare speaker wire and give you a great connection to your speaker. And in all honesty, this is a great option for most of you out there. The reason I say that is because for the most part, for most of you out there, your use case is going to be you connect your speaker wire to your speaker, and it's going to stay there for months, if not years, without you ever having to disconnect it. So you really do have to ask yourself, do I need banana plugs? Because banana plugs, yes, they are handy. Yes, they are convenient because you can simply plug the banana plug into the back of the speaker. And when you do need to disconnect it, they're very simple to disconnect by just simply unplugging the banana plug from the back of the speaker. But is that something that you're going to be doing often? If yes, then look at banana plugs. If not, then question whether or not you really want to go the banana plug route. Now, obviously, there are those of you out there with a completely different use case. For instance, like myself, because I am doing reviews and I am testing out equipment pretty consistently, I am unplugging and plugging in my banana plugs on a pretty consistent basis. So it is much more convenient for me to be able to just unplug them and plug them in versus unthreading the nut on the back of the terminal and taking the bare wire out and then rethreading it into the different speaker or whatever I'm testing for that day. So for me personally, and for a lot of you out there, banana plugs are very convenient and they are very useful. So if you have come to the conclusion that you do want or you do need banana plugs, let's talk about them. So if you have been looking for banana plugs, there's a good chance that you've probably already checked out Amazon. And if you've checked out Amazon, there's probably a good chance that you've come across the Fospower banana plugs because they are one of the more inexpensive options on the Amazon website. And they do look like a really good option on the surface. And that's exactly what I thought when I saw them. They looked like a really good option. They were pretty inexpensive. They did look like they would have a good connection with the bare wire because there is two screws that you tighten that clamp down on the bare wire. And then there's a metal sheath that goes on the outside that is more of just a protective sheath to make sure that they don't touch together or short together. And that sheath is going to help you protect the negative from touching the positive, which isn't a good thing, especially if the speakers are in the middle of playing. So like I said, on the surface, they do look like a great option. So those are the exact ones that I purchased for my 7 floor channel speakers as well as my 4 height channel speakers, and I thought that I'd made a good choice. So when I first received the Fospower banana plugs, this should have been a red flag, but I did have a couple faulty units in the bag right off the start. Some of the sheaths, or 2 of the sheaths, had already come loose from the nut it's kind of crimped to. That protective sheath is crimped to I think a copper nut on the inside that threads onto the connection itself, and 2 of them were already faulty right out of the bag. So I thought to myself, you know what, maybe I just got a faulty batch and they're so inexpensive it wasn't even worth me returning to get 2 more. So I just left it at that and I started connecting all of my speaker wire to these Fospower banana plugs. And I've actually been using these Fospower banana plugs for the past couple of years, so I have some pretty good experience with them. And much to my dismay, I did buy extra thinking, oh, you never know when you're going to need more. So I bought extra. So every time I have one kind of go faulty on me, I'll just replace it with a new one. But sometimes even the one that I've replaced eventually goes faulty as well. For the most part, how they go faulty is that metal protective sheath on the outside that's crimped to the copper nut on the inside just gets loose from that copper nut, and then it just slides up and down freely, and it does actually make a rattling noise. If you have some pretty capable subwoofers like I do, then when there's intense bass sequences, you can actually hear that sheath rattling, so then you have to find out which one's rattling and replace it, and then eventually that one is also going to go faulty as well. So it's one thing if they would go faulty and it wouldn't really affect anything, but in this case, like I said, during intense bass sequences, you are going to hear that rattle because they are very loose. It's just so loose, it just slides up and down. So then you have to find out which one is loose and then replace it. But knowing full well that there's a good chance that that one that you just replaced is eventually going to do the exact same thing. And maybe the fact that I have such intense bass in my room contributes to the fact that these sheaths come loose, but they are designed for audio, so they should be designed not to come loose from vibration, considering audio is just cones and diaphragms vibrating. In all honesty, I don't really know how many have gone faulty on me, but I'd have to say it's at least a dozen, if not more. But the straw that broke the camel's back is the other day I had a friend come down and I was going to show him my new speakers. I have the Legacy Audio speakers. So I was going to play some Dolby Atmos demos and some movie demos. So the first demo that I tried playing was Dolby Atmos Amaze. And in that Dolby Atmos demo, there's a bird that kind of flies around the room. And as soon as it would get to my back speaker, I heard nothing. It just kind of went dead, and then it would continue on with the right rear speaker and then continue around the room. So I played it again, and sure enough, the bird flew around, and as soon as it got to my rear left speaker, I heard nothing, and then it continued on in the rear right and back around the room. So I wasn't sure what was happening at first. I was kind of worried that my speaker was blown and there's something wrong with my speaker. But then I looked down at the amp, and I'm using the Summit Hi-Fi A11 amplifier, and one of the features of this amplifier is it has lights that shows you which channels are working properly. They're lit in blue, and if a channel isn't working properly, then it's lit in red. Well, sure enough, that channel was lit in red, which was telling me that there is a problem with that channel. So kudos to the Summit Hi-Fi A11 amplifier for telling me exactly what the issue was and that there was an issue. So I went to the back of the speaker to see if maybe one of the banana plugs had come unplugged, or maybe one of the wires had broken off or something. I was just thinking maybe there's some sort of issue because that is kind of a high traffic area, and maybe it was accidentally unplugged or knocked or something like that. But when I was looking at the back of the speaker, nothing seemed to be out of the ordinary. Both banana plugs were plugged in, so I decided I would unplug them and check, and sure enough, I unplugged the positive one, and that one did have a loose sheath, but everything was fine as far as the connection went. It should have been fine. So when I went to unplug the negative side, I pulled on it, and that one did also have a loose sheath. So there you have it. On one speaker, it had two loose protective sheaths, but also when I pulled on it, the banana plug tip came off in the terminal, and I had the rest of the plug in my hand. So clearly that was the problem, is there was no connection between the speaker wire and the terminal itself, and my amplifier was letting me know. So that really was the straw that broke the camel's back. I'm just so fed up with these Fospower banana plugs. I did want to give you guys the courtesy of warning you, just don't bother buying them. There's just nothing but problems with these banana plugs. Go with anything else. Like I said, I am going to offer you guys an alternative, but you don't even have to go with those ones. You can just go with any other style. But I would avoid anything that's designed like the Fospower banana plugs. So the banana plugs that I would recommend, because I don't foresee them having any of the same issues that these Fospower banana plugs have, are actually the Amazon Basics ones. There is another brand called Sewell or Sewell. It's Sewell that has an exact same banana plug as these Amazon Basics. I'm guessing they're the exact same manufacturer. They just put their own name brands on them, but they do seem to be a much better design. It's something that I don't think you're going to have nearly as much issues. I would avoid any banana plug that even is designed or looks the same or similar to the Fospower banana plugs, because there's a good chance that it's just a problem that plagues that type of design or that type of banana plug. And these banana plugs that I'm using from Amazon Basics are a completely different design. They connect in a totally different way, and I think it's going to be a more reliable banana plug all in all, because it is a completely different design. I have dropped links to these banana plugs down in the description below if you would want to check them out. But I just wanted to make this video and warn you guys about the Fospower one specifically, because I've just had so many issues with them. And then, like I said, I had that straw that broke the camel's back, and that's just enough. So I think you guys deserve to know that they're just not worth buying. I hope you guys did find this video helpful. Make sure you subscribe and tick the bell icon if you did, and please take just one short second to hit that like button. I always do appreciate it. Remember to enjoy your systems regardless of how crappy your banana plugs are. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.